Hi, welcome to Talk Comics to Me. It's Wednesday. We got some new books. Not a lot of the same this week, so something a little different going on.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Not a whole lot, actually.
Yeah, so I am Champ Champenstein.
I'm Heather.
And yeah, go ahead. Let's do this.
So I have, this is issue number 1 of Faithless Part 2. They could have easily just gone with issue number 7. Because it's a continuation of the first story. Like, it picks up like pretty much right where it left off. Faith in the first part is trying to find inspiration to be creative. Her friends are dying. Satan's in it. Blah, blah, blah. And this one, she has found her inspiration, motivation, creativeness in the form of her girlfriend and her girlfriend's dad. She's banging them. The dad has some sort of connection to the devil, and it has to do with, giving up your soul pretty much to sell your art. But it's still good, I guess. The art...
Still good, I guess.
I mean, it's one of those stories that's like, the dialogue is really good between the characters. I really like the characters, but I just want the story to just go.
Yeah.
Like, just move. Like, just do something.
It's just like, it seems flat.
Yeah. I still love the art. I think it's fucking cool. Oh, my God. The best part of this book that I just saw when I was flipping through it, she fucking makes paint with her period blood. That's incredible. Anyway, it comes with a naughty cover, which that's the whole reason I signed up for this in the first place, is because I just wanted to see different artists drawing very sexual situations. Did not disappoint.
I feel like those covers, some of them are less graphic than others. That one is extremely graphic.
Yeah, no, some of them are very tasteful.
So then I have... Wait, are you gonna... Okay, yeah, never mind. Let's...
Take turns, please. I need to take turns.
I have Batman's Grave. This is issue number 7.
Look at that handsome man on the cover.
Yeah, this Frank Quietly cover just makes me...
Hot.
It makes me hot. I was gonna say it makes me come, so... I don't know what's wrong with us today.
Mine was a more tasteful version of what you said.
Okay, so comic books, right?
I know what's wrong with us.
I don't even know. This particular issue, I honestly, every time I pick up this book, I'm like, yeah, I need to go back and reread everything, because I have an idea of what's going on. But I'm always just I'll just fly headfirst into this without any previous knowledge. Especially because it's been so long. So this issue doesn't have a lot of punching, but it starts out right away with Batman's car exploding. So there's a really great scene where he's just walking through the city behind a bus stop, and all these you can see him walking from here, and he just gets closer, and all these people just
he's in his suit.
And he's in his bat suit and stuff. It's good. But this follows so whoever he's following is kind of a step ahead of him. And so this particular issue is a lot of Bruce and Alfred kind of having a back and forth, trying to figure out the mystery of who this is, and trying to figure out a way to make them think that they don't know that he's ahead of them in those steps.
Oh.
So yeah, no, it's really good. I think I understand. I think I know what's going on, even though I acted like I did not.
I mean, you seem to have it.
I have a vague idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good cover.
It's a good cover. I enjoy the comic. It's Batman shit.
And you said there were 12. You said 12.
12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are 12.
Yeah, that's the second time.
I'm best friends with Warren Ellis, and there's 12 issues.
Best friends.
Yeah. I read his email every week. That means we're best friends, right? He knows I exist.
It's such a weird thing sharing an email with you, because I have this thing where if an email I've already read is there, I don't bother opening it again to see what it is. So anytime I check my email and his orbital pops up and it says it's already been read, I just always forget to read it, because I'm like, oh, I've already read this one.
I'll just mark them as unread now.
Okay. That would help a lot.
Yeah, I promise I'll do that. Okay.
I'm a baby. Okay. So I have, I can never... The Cimmerian?
The Cimmerian.
Which guy from Mortal Kombat does the get over here?
Scorpion?
Okay. That's how. The Cimmerian. Okay, so it's the Cimmerian, Red Nails, number 1.
Oh, God.
This is just, Conan.
Yeah,
Conan being Conan. He runs into Valeria. They fight a big dragon beast, and then they end up in a cathedral type thing, I guess.
Okay.
A temple.
A church?
Kind of. They use a couple different words for it. But
All right.
basically, they run into this building. And they discover that there's a whole city within the building. It's like a hidden thing. And you're kind of introduced to the people, or at least one person who lives there who's fighting off the bad guys. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names. I'm sorry, because they won't be right at all.
Can you make up new names for them?
Tichi. It's close, right? Anyway, but yeah, it kind of alludes to the fact that there's going to be like helping these people defend their city.
Okay.
There is reading at the back.
I would say that's a lot of stuff. How is anyone supposed to read that print?
I have no idea.
Are you supposed to have a magnifying glass? Oh my God.
This is the text in the back. You can read it if you want. I am planning on getting to it, but I have to read it like this because it's so small.
That is insane.
Yeah, so...
Why? I don't
know.
That is an odd choice. Like, why
I mean,
not
yeah,
just,
they
like...
could have just added more pages in the back.
And even if you didn't, it just maybe...
Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot to read, so when I get to it, I'll get to it.
So now I have Batman the Adventures Continue.
Mm-hmm.
Issue number 1. So this is just a continuation of the cartoon and
cool.
the animated series. It kind of supposedly, like, the idea is that it takes off after the Adventures of Batman and Superman, if you ever watched that. So this issue kind of just introduces you to, like, who's gonna be in it. Just like Lex Luthor's there, Batman's there. They kind of bring Superman in, so it's literally just like reading the Batman animated series.
But is it going to be Justice League?
No, it's going to be Batman.
Okay, just Batman.
Just Batman.
Okay.
I'm sure there'll be
Featuring Justice League.
I'm sure there'll be appearances by people,
Something.
but this particular issue just deals with, like, Lex Luthor trying to take Brainiac, and it's too bubbly. Trying to take Brainiac and use him, like, against Superman.
That sounds interesting.
It is.
Would I have to, like, because the last time I had seen the show was, when it was on TV. I don't have to, like, go back and watch anything to know what's going on here? Okay.
No, I think you can just have, like, that idea of, like, you know who's bad, you know who's good.
Right. Okay.
If you just read a book, I think you'll get it.
I read books.
Yeah, I think you're okay at it.
I can figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of number ones.
Yeah, number 1's City. So this is Adventureman number 1.
Number 1.
This is Matt Fraction, and then the
Featuring the
Dodsons. The Dodsons. And Clayton Coles on letters. So this book is, I don't know, I like how it starts out. You're kind of just thrown into this, like, Adventure Man story, and you're introduced to the players within Adventure Man, and then you find out that it's actually a single mom reading a story to her son. As the story progresses, you learn that she's part of, like, this big family, and everybody kind of has these exciting lives, but she seemingly doesn't.
Yeah, but I feel like it's by choice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah, she's just like, I just want to raise this kid. Like, that's it. I'm taking my hearing aids out. Fuck you.
Yeah, and that is also a huge part of this story, is that she is deaf and uses hearing aids, so that plays a lot into, like, her character and how she feels and how she kind of treats the world around her. And then it kind of just wraps up with her, you finding out that she owns this bookstore, and some sort of, like, mysterious visitor comes and gives her what seems to be, like, an Adventure Man novel.
Yeah, it kind of, to me, feels like Adventureman is actually, like, real.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Like, the people in there and their worlds are, like, gonna collide. I'm excited about it.
And, you know, I always love that idea of, like, very meta, like, books that, like...
You love meta.
I love meta books.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, the real world is colliding with, like, that fake world. Which is, I think, like, you know, I always really loved Princess Bride growing up. Just, like, same idea.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
It's good.
Yeah, so Adventureman's great. The art's really, really good. I'm personally not a huge... We had this conversation earlier. I'm not a huge fan of the Dodsons. I don't, like... Their faces are a little too similar. But, like, I did not mind this at all. The colors were really... Yeah, the color scheme was really, really good.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So if that's something that may be holding you back, definitely don't
I would say it's worth it in this because enough happens that the people seem to actually change.
Yeah, for sure. Also, this is a hefty issue. It is very long.
It's at least 40 pages.
It's at least 40 pages, and it is full of words, but it's really interesting. It does have that, like, pulp feel for sure. I really liked Matt Fraction's author's notes in the back, kind of talking about how long this project has been, like, bubbling around, and it's cool to actually, like, see it in that fruition, even though I didn't know. You know?
Right. I just think, like, good for you, man. I'm glad you finally got to do it. That's
Yeah,
how I always feel when the author's notes are like, this idea has been bouncing around in my head for 17 years, and it's like, good for you. I'm so glad you actually got to get it out.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm excited. I really like the main character. I really like Claire and her son. I didn't write down his name.
He's just a kid. I really, really like her character because, I mean, she's already really developed when you first meet her. There's not, like, a lot of background you need on her.
Yeah, and I think she's, like, relatable in a sense, too.
As a single mother, yeah.
Yeah. I am a huge single mother.
I relate.
I relate hard. I have many kids. Their names are Megatron and Anti-Gravity.
The biggest kids of them all. Okay.
They don't get along, but it's fine.
They're siblings, you can tell. I have this book. I was starting to doubt myself on what it was called because I was going to call it Druid because that's how I've always pronounced it. But I have heard it pronounced Dryad.
That's what I always have said.
Or, I mean, if you're a fan of Star Wars, the Dryad. Is that right? Did I pronounce it right at least? I don't know. Still haven't seen those movies. The last 3. I'll get to them. Anyway, so this is Druid, is what I'm calling it. This is the second issue. This kind of picks up where the first one left off. The kids are naughty. They were doing shit that they weren't supposed to, and they got sucked into this hole. If I remember correctly. It's been a long time since that first issue came out.
Oh, yeah, it's because that was when I was in Texas.
Yeah. But basically this goes, one of the kids was able to escape, and he ran to their parents, who the mother, Monica, is a ex-soldier, I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
That's kind of what she seems like. So she is like, all right, let me go grab all my guns and let's go. And the dad, who is the historian of the two, stays behind, which I love that dynamic. I think that's really fucking cool. So the mom finds her old, like, soldier friend, and they go to rescue these kids, and they run into people who they've known in the past, apparently. So that's the twist.
Okay.
But I don't know who these people are, and I don't know, like, how they know each other. So it's not really a twist. It's just the ending. I really like this just because I really like the mom, the main character.
Yeah, that was, like, what I liked about the first issue.
Yeah, she's super cool. She's tough. She protects her family, and I just love that.
That's a good quality all around.
Mm-hmm. I really like the dad, too, just because he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to stay home then. I'm just going to look in my textbooks. I'm sure that's what he says.
I'm going to look in my textbooks.
Which textbook today?
Push up my glasses.
Make fun of me?
I mean, I do it.
I know, I do it all the time.
So I guess I'm going to go now. This is Daredevil issue number 20. This is 2 of 2 Ascension. If you remember from when I was in Texas, this is when this also last came out.
I remember when you were in Texas.
I remember when I was in Texas 17 million years ago.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Which was actually only in March 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, because literally the week after you got back is when everything, like, shut down.
Yeah. So, in the first part of this particular two-issue story arc, the Stormwinds had made Hell's Kitchen fucking explode and is on fire, and everybody's basically fighting for the... Literally everything's on fire. They're exploding things. They've sent a shit ton of, like, villains into Hell's Kitchen. They've cut off all sort of communication out. Like, nobody's cell phones are working. They haven't allowed any of, like, the news stations to know, like, any of that information because nobody can get anything out. They can't get anybody in. And finally, like, somebody, like, because they're all using cell phones, like, an old lady uses a landline to call, like, the news station. And
Smart.
it's like,
Smart.
Hey, this is, like, Hell's Kitchen is on fire. Like, you need to send somebody here. Why isn't this being reported? So, and the cops are, you know, whatever. The cops are working for the Stormwinds.
I love that little detail. I'm not going to ever stop thinking about it and relating it to, like, maybe that was Chip inserting himself into the story because he has a landline.
Because he's a 90-year-old woman.
I feel like Chip would have a landline.
Yeah, I also feel like... But he would also have, like, one of those, like, clear phones from, like, the 90s that, like...
Yeah,
I feel like rich kids had. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel like rich kids had those. I don't know
Damn,
if that's like
weird.
I don't know if that's some poor people mentality or what that is.
I never had my own landline.
I didn't have like my own landline, but I did have a phone in my room maybe. I mean, we at least had cordless phones. So.
Yeah, we had one phone and my mom was always on it talking shit to my fucking aunt every night.
So,
anyway, sorry.
So yeah, no, it was an interesting end to that story arc. I don't want to tell you what happens because it's a spoiler, and also I don't know how it'll affect what happens in the next issue.
He just doesn't care about anything anymore.
No.
He's like, I was out for 3 hours last week.
Yeah, he's being a little shit. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so I have Wellington. This is issue number 4. I'm not gonna get into this because Champ is in the process of like getting to it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil anything, but
I did buy it during shutdown pandemic time, so I should have read it a long time ago, but didn't.
That's okay. Because I can say that the plot of this issue is them hunting the Bargeist.
Okay.
Bargeist. However you say it.
Vargas.
Bargus. It's a B. Well, every time I see it, I pronounce it like in Dragon Age Inquisition. There's a animal monster / thing called the Vargeist.
Okay.
So that's
what you're...
Yeah, that's always how I like pronounce it in my head. But anyway, yeah, they're just hunting that without giving anything away.
Okay. This is Something is Killing the Children. This is issue number 7. This is picking up after the first story arc. So there's been a little bit of a break, also pandemic stuff.
Yeah, pandemic.
But this is introducing kind of... It's hard to describe. I'm trying to think. I'm doing a bad job. The beginning starts with the mother of one of the children. She's just like in her robe after they've discovered all of the bodies that like from the monsters.
She's in her robe.
Well, because that's like a very like it's like a detail within the story where
that makes more sense.
Her son comes and is like, you need to go home and get dressed, and she's like, I'm not going to go home and get dressed until like I know that my child is in there and is dead. So that's kind of how the story starts and kind of gets you in that mood of like remembering how everything happened. And then you kind of get to Erica and she's hunting the monsters and she has a higher council that she answers to, and she's kind of done wrong. I don't know if you remember that from like the very end of the story. So they have sent somebody to oversee her. And that's basically kind of how that ends.
Are you still enjoying it?
Yeah, no, I still really, really like it. I really like just, like, the characters, and I really like Erica a lot, and kind of how, I don't know, she has obviously a personal vendetta that they haven't really, like, 100% delved into, but I don't know, there's just something really interesting about her character, and she, like, seemingly cares about, like, the people she's trying to protect. Like, the council wants her to use, like, the kid James and the young girl Beyond, I think was her name, the two that survived the monster attacks, to like
in the first book?
Yeah.
Okay.
To lure in the other monsters, because the only way that they're solid is if they eat.
That makes sense.
And, like, they are basically attracted to these two because of their, like, previous encounters with them.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's weird. It's interesting.
I think I'm going to have to get that first trade.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to read it when it first came out, but by the time, I don't know, we got more issues, it was already, like, issue number 2 or 3, and I just was, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
100% worth it. Especially if you like horror books, so.
You know I love horror books.
You know.
Okay.
All right.
Next we have Decorum. This is issue number 2. This is pretty confusing.
I don't know if we've been... I feel like the pieces are there. I don't know if we've been given, like, the full picture.
Right. It is coming together. I don't know. I know that when I read the first one, I knew that she was an assassin, and I knew that she was a very polite assassin. She still is, but I feel like this story is, like, bigger than just that. Obviously it is bigger than just that one storyline, but I want to know how she plays into
everything else.
Yeah.
So the way Decorum is set up is with a story, like, I think the timeline, you're not 100% sure of the timeline, but I assume these witches, or mothers as they're called, I don't know why I called them witches, but that was just what I thought immediately.
Mothers are witches.
Are trying to, like, use this egg to gain some sort of upper hand against a god.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
And the god's people. So it
has
followers. So it does have very, like, intense ideas of, like, colonialism and, like, spreading religion and that aspect of it. And then there's also a storyline of this assassin, and it follows her in different aspects of time as well, it seems like. It's very Hickman.
Yes. Eggs everywhere.
Eggs everywhere. Eggs everywhere.
Yeah, I really do like how it's written. I just wish that, and this is me just being stubborn and needing to know everything, like, right at the beginning, is, like, I wish I knew exactly not just how they were connected or how they are connected, but in what timeline are they in, like, that would help me out a lot when I'm reading this, because...
Well, and I mean, especially, I guess, also, the mothers said that they've been doing this thing for, 6,000 years?
Yeah, like, thousands and thousands of years.
So, would we only also assume that this has been a fight that's been happening while, like, she's also doing her job?
Right, and she's going to be involved in whatever, like,
the
egg in some way, like, maybe, yeah. It's all connected, and I do have a feeling it is, like, at the same point in time. It's just 3 different,
like,
sectors.
Yeah. And just like a Hickman book, there's maps, there's lots of words.
The graphs are so cool.
The graphs are really cool.
I really like the resurrection cycle graph, just because it has fucking egg in the middle. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. I just really like this book. And I love that each section or chapter, like, the art is different.
Yeah.
Like, they're all very similar, obviously, because it's Huddleston. He's on all of them. But they're just different enough that you can tell that it's different groups.
Yeah.
And I just really love that.
It just feels just, like, so high sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's like...
I'm excited to see it all come together.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you like Hickman books, it's definitely worth it in that sense.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
Oh, yeah. So I have No One's Rose. This is issue number 2. This is about humans that are living in a bubble because life can't exist outside Mother Nature's pretty much extinct. They're kind of barely surviving because life in there is also dying, and it focuses on a brother and sister who are on two different sides. So the sister is on the side where she believes that Mother Nature is there for us to control, essentially, where the brother's on the side where he believes that everyone should be free, everyone should be able to do what they want, you know, all that kind of thing. He doesn't want to be controlled by the people who control Mother Nature.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see their dynamic, because they're obviously their brother and sister and they love each other very, very much. They're all they have, but they're on completely different sides. So, and I mean, even the sister who is on the wrong side, I'm gonna make that decision now. She's doing it for the right reasons, because she wants to, I guess, kind of learn and force Mother Nature to grow so that they can evolve outside of the bubble that they've been in.
Okay.
She's, so
creating
her own version of Mother Nature to save them, because she doesn't want to be stuck in the bubble either, but she's trying to use it to, like, her advantage, because she is very smart.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a very weird book. I kept seeing it called a solar punk, and I don't like that at all. I think that's weird. There are too many subgenres of the punk movement. Just call it punk, dude, and just get over it.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You don't need a title within a title. That's so weird.
I just, like, I don't... Is it saying, like they're into Earth? Is that what...
Yeah.
That's a weird way to put that.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You can talk now.
Okay. I don't like that at all.
I don't like it.
Just like you're not going to like that drink. I have...
But I keep drinking it.
I know. I have Ginseng Roots number 4. This book has a lot going on. This just covers Craig Thompson's life as a child working on ginseng farms. This particular issue covers when he was rock picking, and there's lots of facts in here.
It's a textbook.
It's kind of a textbook. It also, it just has a lot of information. It is also interesting how, he weaves that information into this story about his life. So it's basically, you're learning all of the things that he, has also learned. So it is interesting. I do really like it. It is something that, it is very small in its appearance, but as you get going, you realize that it is, a very full text, and you are, in for quite a bit of, reading and story. But 100% worth it. I like the dynamic of his life, and, him talking about the past as a kid and him as an adult in the same town, going to this, ginseng festival and, interacting with all of the farmers he did in the past and, asking them questions about the present.
Cool. Maybe... all the bubbles. Maybe I'll have to read that and catch up. This bubbly water is doing stuff.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay. It's worth it. 100% worth it.
Do you, the tidbits of information that you learn in there, do you ever pull them out randomly during conversations with people?
Not yet.
Then is it really worth it?
It is worth it. I mean, once again, like I said earlier, I don't know how much I would remember any of those factoids for how long.
Yeah.
I am not very good at that sort of thing.
I have a note in my phone where whenever I learn something new, I write it down in there. So if it's interesting enough anyway, so that I can insert them into conversations and just sound smarter.
I mean, I've learned a lot about ginseng.
Interesting.
So,
have you ever tried ginseng candy?
Yeah, I have.
Do you like it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, they talk about the different the red soil that's here, the red rocks that are in Wisconsin, and how they cause the ginseng to taste different than the ginseng in Canada, and the different ways that how fragile ginseng is.
That is interesting. Did they say if it has anything to do with the salt in the rocks?
I mean, I haven't quite finished it yet. Remember, I was a few pages off,
Right.
but it might just be because of like how rich the soil is, and like I said earlier, they talk about like the glacial portion of Wisconsin and like how all of that like affected all of the ground and soil and makes it like so much more rich.
Dang. Feel like I learned something anyway. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay, so with that lesson done, I'm going to move on to Excalibur's number 10.
And you don't even know if I'm lying or not. Maybe that's not even in the book.
Well, you know, that's why I always have Google to fact check. But again, I don't want to go into this because I'm going to leave this so you can read it. But it's basically, I don't even know how to like say anything without giving like the big aha moment. Without spoiling it. But basically, Betsy and her crew of Excaliburites, would that be it?
That works for me.
They are being...
I can't even say that. Excalibur.
I won't be able to say it again. I don't know how I said it the first time. Her and her crew are getting attacked by the humans in London, and they have no way to get home.
Okay.
Stuff starts happening. They run into a familiar face, 2 of them, actually, and I went, because I was confused for a minute. This timeline does not align with any of the other stories. It's catching up. I personally feel like this is kind of a weaker issue. I still enjoyed it, however, but I feel like, you know, it's just one of those that's leading up to like something really big that's going to happen. So it has a lot of like little big things that are happening throughout it, but nothing like that really just explodes.
Yeah.
I love Teeny though, so we love Teeny in this house. Yeah. So yeah, that was my X book for the day.
I didn't get any X books. It made me feel sad.
I know. That's why I was like going to make you read it real fast because we always talk about X books together. But it's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll just leave it for you. No, you're not a failure.
So then I lastly have Bitterroot. This is issue number 8, and this issue, the Sangaries have split up. Blink, who is the daughter who Maeda is trying to be like, don't fight. You should be a healer. She is in Harlem talking to the police and giving them the cure and telling them, you know, you hit these with these are these, and she has a flashback to when her mother is leaving, and she's just like, I don't want to lose you again, and her mother's like, but like this family like needs you very specifically, so like you cannot come with us, because she's like, you have the ability to fight like nobody else, and you have like the ability, like you're very smart and like you're really good at making cures and potions and stuff. So that's kind of like what that part of the one issue is about, and the other part is about, oh gosh, why am I blanking on their names? Berg, why? I'm blanking.
You should have written it down.
I should have written it down. I didn't think about writing these ones down. But the other half of the family is fighting or going down to find that Andro, which is like the big bad, so to speak, which Berg is kind of driving them towards because he is been infected, so he has this like feeling, or like he can sense, I guess, where they should be going to find him. And then it kind of just ends with them going to this town that...
Dang, these colors are so good.
Yeah, the colors in this book are really, really great. It ends with them going to this town filled with just racist rednecks.
Who's this little boy?
That is... Johnny...
Oh my god.
Johnny Ray.
He looks like Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Just redheads.
Johnny Ray. That's his name. I don't know how I even remembered that.
So cute.
But
what is he doing with that group?
In the first issue, or the first few issues, if I remember right, he was like with the wrong group of people and was being a very racist, shitty person, and he got his life saved by one of the Sangaries, and
so he's in debt to them,
basically,
but like by choice.
Yeah,
he's like,
yep.
I'll live out the rest of my life trying to atone.
Be a better person.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know, that book, I still think it's really worth it. It's really interesting. I really do like the aspects of the book, the emotions that they bring into it, the history. The characters are all really, really interesting, even if I can't remember their names.
You remember Johnny?
I remember Johnny, and I remember Blink, and Maeda.
Yeah. At least you got some. Yeah. That's good.
Some's better than none, right?
3 out of 9.
Yeah. So, highly suggest Bitterroot. I didn't read any of the back content.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all we got. That's all we got. It's a new week. It's an end.
Yeah.
It's the end.
It's new. It's the end.
Go buy comics. Okay?
Support everyone you know.
Yeah, support your friends. And we love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.